The mob is raging through the streets, but here, in another street, we find its target, Othello. And the first thing we learn about the Moor of Venice is not his rage, not the fear, but his profound, almost unsettling calm. Welcome to Act 1, Scene 2. After the frenzy of Brabantio's house, Shakespeare performs a masterful tonal pivot. We meet Othello not through the racist caricature of Iago's speech, but through his own composed presence. And we meet immediately Iago's new challenge: how to manipulate a man who seems unshakable. Okay, now here Iago speaks first, and he's already working. He's constructing a persona for Othello's benefit, the loyal, conscience-bound soldier. Let's see. Though in the trade of war I have slain men. Okay, now here he starts speaking. Now he says that even though in the trade of war, in the war field, I have killed people, yet do I hold it very stuff of the conscience. Right? Now listen to the contradictions, right? Here he says, I have killed in war, but my conscience won't allow murder to do no contrived murder. Here he is drawing a moral line to make himself seem principled. I lack iniquity. Iniquity means badness, right? I lack badness. Sometimes to do me service. Now see the usage of archaic language all over there and inversion, right? Here he says that I'm not evil enough. And then the kicker, 9 or 10 times I had thought to have yoked him. Now, who is him here? Stabbed Rodrigo, right? For insulting you. Now, here, Iago's painting a picture of restrained fury on Othello's behalf. It's a performance of loyalty so intense it had to be held back by conscience. Okay, tis better as it is. Okay, now this is Othello. Now here he appears. Just 4 words, right? Iago said so many, but Othello said, "'Tis better as it is." That's all. And they tell us everything. What are they? This is about Othello's character. First is, he is a dismissive person. He's not interested in street brawls or Iago's violent fantasies. Second, Othello seems to be, confident. The situation is better without Rodrigo being dead. He trusts his own position and reputation here, right? And at last, as a character portrayal, these 4 words highlights his authority and his authoritative nature. It is a closed statement. The debate is over. This man is a man of measured judgment, not an impulsive passion. The polar opposite of Brabantio, don't you think so? Okay, now Iago. Here we come up with the first important paragraph that you can meet in this Act 1, Scene 2. Then Iago starts his first gambit, the boasting of violent loyalty, but failed to ruffle Othello. So he pivots seamlessly to a new tactic through these lines. The concerned friend warning of political danger. That is his role right here. Okay, now here there is dramatic irony because Iago tries to show that he is a good friend, the honest so-called friend to Othello, right? Just a show off. Nay, but he prated. Prated means actually kill, boasted, and spoke such scurvy and provoking terms, right? He spoke in such an insulting manner against your honor. Okay, now here, Iago, he re-emphasizes the insult to Othello's honor, trying to prick his pride. Then the stubborn, okay, let's say the sudden, intrusive personal question. But I pray you, sir, are you fast married? It means, are you securely, legally married? This is Iago's shifting gears from soldier talk to legal strategist. Be assured of this, that the Magnifico is much beloved and hath in his effect a voice potential as double as the Duke's. Now here he lays out the threat. Brabantio, who is metaphorically symbolized by the word magnifico, is powerful. His influence, the voice potential, is as strong as the Duke's. This is meant to instill fear to undermine Othello's calm, right? Okay. So here you can see the theme of appearance versus reality, the character of Iago, the so-called willful villain, right? And then let's see what he will do next. Okay. He will divorce you. Okay. He will divorce you or put upon you what restraint and grievance. The law, with all his might to enforce it on, will give him cable. Now, these consequences, divorce or legal persecution, restraint and grievance, right, will give him cable, will give him enough rope, enough scope to do it. Iago is painting a picture of Othello as an outsider about to be crushed by the full legal might of Venetian aristocracy. Then, the brilliance of this opening is actually the dramatic irony. We, the audience, have just seen Brabantio's rage. We know Iago is the one who provoked it. Yet here he is, pretending to be Othello's sole source of warning, fabricating a narrative where he is the protector. He is manufacturing a crisis to make himself indispensable. Okay, with this, we can understand few things, right? We also see the central conflict of the play laid bare. That is because, I'm saying it, Othello's internal state. Okay, now the confidence in his words, right? That is it. He caused the crisis, right? The confidence of Othello in his worth, his service, and his love, everything, right? This is really important. And the external threat, the racist patriarchal power structure of Venice, represented by Brabantio, the poison in ear, Iago, who stands between them, claiming to translate one to the other. Okay, so of course, Iago is the person who caused this crisis. And now Brabantio is about to come, but fooled by Iago's lies. Iago is pretending here to warn Othello of a storm he himself conjured. He's creating the problem and then selling himself as the only one who understands it. Okay? Here, Already Othello's calm has been established. Iago has thrown his first two psychological punches. The punches, boasts of violence and warnings of power, and Othello hasn't flinched. But the test is coming. The mob is getting closer. How will the man who said "'tis better as it is" handle the direct armed confrontation with his new father-in-law? His confidence is about to meet its first real challenge. Okay, so if you are fascinated by how Shakespeare builds a heroic character through contrast and calm, hit like and subscribe us to see Othello's face the storm head on. Again, thanks for analyzing with me. The strongest characters are often introduced not by what they do, but by what they refuse to do. That's not the end. We come up with another important paragraph, and this is on the line, it's paragraph number 2 of Othello's Act 1, Scene 2. Othello's calm has dismissed Iago's violent fantasy. Okay, but Iago is a chess player. If one move fails, he instantly makes another. And his next move is a masterstroke of psychological invasion. A personal question that disguised as a political warning. That's where we stopped. And now we are going to analyze another important paragraph, another important lines of this Othello. As I told to you, Iago has thrown his best punch. Warnings of social ruin, legal persecution, the wrath of the state. And Othello's response is not fear, not panic, it's a declaration of supreme self-worth. This is the speech where Othello tells us and Iago exactly who he is. This is our deepest look into Othello's soul so far. In answering Iago's threats, Othello reveals the twin pillars of his identity, his public merit and his private love. And in doing so, he also shows us the very pride that Iago will later use to destroy him. His first rebuttal is grounded in the practical world of Venice. Let him do his spite. Spite means let's give him chance to take his head, right? That is what he says. Now, what is the place right here? Where are they? They are at the Sagittary, right? And the speaker is Othello, the listener is Iago, and of course the audience. Situation is, if I remind to you again, here Iago says that Brabantio will punish Othello, and Othello replies to it by these words, right? And in the same time, they both are waiting for the arrival of Brabantio, and this is the time in between, right? Okay. Then he says, let him do his spite. See the dismissive, fearless character. His defense, my services which I have done to the Signori. Right? Service. The Signori is the ruling body of Venice. He believed his military worth, his my services shall outtongue his complaints, speak louder than Brabantio's complaints. Okay, this is the confidence of the indispensable soldier. He believes that the state values utility over the prejudices. But then he goes further. He reaches the past Venice to an older, more personal source of pride. And before that, when talking about this my services which I have done to Signori, those things, that's about the self-esteem, proud, satisfaction, duty-boundness, confidence of position and reputation, and also about the strength, power of Othello as a character. Okay, so you can note down everything for his character traits because Othello here first appear on the stage. So far he was introduced by the words of Iago to the audience. Now he really appears. Tis yet to know. It is yet to know. Which when I know that boasting is an honor. Boasting means like disliked by me, right? Disliked by me is an honor. I shall promulgate. I fetch my life and been for men of royal siege, and my demerits may speak unbonneted. To as proud a fortune as this that I have reached. This is complex, right? It's not yet widely known. He's about to boast, but only because he feels his story justifies it. This is a revelation. I fetch my life and been from men of royal siege. I am descended from kings. My demerits here means by his deserts, his merits. He's saying my inherent worth is such that I can stand hateless, unbonneted, with informal respect before the noble fortune I've married into. Okay, that is what he said. And now see how he speak of his ancestry. The proud fortune is about Desdemona. Okay, so that's about her. Let's go on. And then he reveals the true engine of his actions. For now, Iago, but that I love gentle Desdemona, I would not my unhoused free condition put into circumscription and confine for the sea's worth. Okay, he says, for now, Iago. Know this, Iago. He makes it explicit. If not for my love for Desdemona, if it is not my love for Desdemona, he contrasts his unhoused free condition, the untouched nomadic life of a soldier, with the circumscription and confine of marriage. And he says he wouldn't trade that freedom for all the treasure in the sea. His love is his only tether. This is both incredibly romantic and deeply revealing. His identity as a free man is voluntarily surrendered for love. Okay, so again, it's about the character of Othello, the loving, caring person who is deeply in love with Desdemona. Okay, because that is his life, the most important thing for him in his whole life. Okay, and when talking about Othello, the whole part as a summary, Othello's service has done so far. According to him, he says that He memorizes, right? He says that I have done something to Sagittary, the country, the state, right? And he is a person who values his freedom than anything, right? That's why he say this marriage is not for money. That's the loyalty, right? And the honesty that he values. Othello's language is formal and decent, unlike of Iago's, right? So this creates contrast. And also you can see the poetic and archaic language. These are the techniques, right? And this word sees worth. You can take it as an hyperbole, which is about the preciousness of his people, Desdemona and her love. And the most important thing, as I told to you, for Othello is not anything but his uh, life, okay, the personal life and his proud, right, his own self, right? We move on. Those are, am I in the correct place? No, that's more, right? Yeah, for the sea's worth, but look what lies come yond. Look what is coming there, what lights coming there. Okay, now who will come now? What do you think? uh, could that be Brabantio who is coming with Rodrigo or someone else? Let's see. Okay, before that as well, I have something more to add to you. Now, here, as I told you, Othello just finishes this magnificent declaration of self reality intrudes, and then he says, but look, what lights come yond? The lights of Brabantio's mob, the poetic internal world of Othello's pride and love, is about to collide with the harsh external world of Venetian prejudice and violence. His words will now be tested by actions. Through these lines, actually, this speech, this part of Othello, which Shakespeare gives him the eloquent pride for a reason, because we readers admire him, but we also see what Iago will target. What will he target? First is pride in service, which Iago will convince later undermine. Okay, Iago will convince him his service and his mind is decaying. And then pride in nobility. Iago will reduce his royal self-image to that of a gullible, honored beast, right? Okay, he could use racism as well for this, but still, yes. And then the pride in love, or his absolute love, which jealousy will poison. Iago will toxify his love, his greatest vulnerability, into a jealous agony in the future lives. This speech doesn't just build a hero, it maps his tragic flaws. The threatening is over, the tortures are here. In the next moment, Othello will have to leave the confidence he just voiced. The man who spoke of royal siege and the sea's worth must now face down an armed mob with his composure intact. If you're seeing how Shakespeare built a tragic hero by making us admire his strengths, hit like, and subscribe for the confrontation. Thanks again for analyzing this part with me. Often remember, a character's greatest speech is also the blueprint for their downfall. Okay, and then even though I said farewell to you, and that's not really the end. Let's see what is up next. Yes, Is there anything that is problematic with you? If so, please leave a comment, right? I am free enough to tell you and help you with those problems. Okay, so as we have already come this far, let's move on until the end. Right. So, what has happened so far? Do you have any idea? So, if I ask this question, what have you to say? Just think of a minute. Okay, never mind, take your time, right? And leave a comment. Now, here, Othello has just declared his royal blood and his boundless love for Desdemona. And now, the moment of truth. Torchlights flood the street. Iago, the master of retreat, gives Othello one last chance to run. What does Othello do? What do you think? Now look at this image, right? In the right side. Can you imagine the scene? What will Othello do? Let's say. Iago identifies the threat instantly. Those are the raised father and his friends. You were best go in. Those are the aroused, awakened. Now this is classic Iago. He is posing as the prudent advisor, the loyal friend looking out for Othello's safety. But think about it. Iago caused this mob. Now he is advising Othello to hide, to look guilty, to run. It's a subtle way to undermine Othello's confidence and his authority. And then Othello replies. And that reply is instant and iconic. Not I must be found. Not I. See the firm, almost curt refusal. My parts, my title, and my perfect soul. And before that, I must be found. He will not hide, he will be seen on his terms. His ability as a general, his rank, and his clear conscience shall manifest me rightly. These things will reveal the truth of who he is. This isn't just bravery, it's moral certainty. Othello believes that his character and position are armor enough. He trusts in visibility, in truth, in honor. It's the polar opposite of Iago, who operates in shadows and lies. Then Othello asks for the confirmation. Is it there? And Iago, ever the manipulator, answers with a lie wrapped in an oath. By Janus, I think no. Now here Janus is the two-faced Roman god, the perfect deity for Iago to swear by. Okay, he's lying to Othello's face, perhaps to unsettle him or to keep him off balance. Okay, it could be anything. But the mob is Brabantio's. Iago knows it, but he says otherwise. Why? To create doubt, to muddy Othello's clear sense of reality. This short exchange does three vital things. First is, this establishes Othello's tragic integrity. He chooses honor over safety, truth over concealment. This makes him heroic, but also vulnerable to a villain who uses secrecy and lies. Because those two are contrasts, right? Then this reveals Iago's method. He advises cowardice, swears by a two-faced god, and lies casually. He is the embodiment of duplicity. And at last, this short exchange also raises the stakes. Othello is not just facing a mob, he's facing them alone, morally and psychologically, because the man beside him is already working against him. That's why I said he's alone, right? The mob is here, swords will be drawn. Othello, the man who must be found, is about to be confronted not just as a suitor but as an enemy. How will the general handle the father? That's next. Okay, so if you understand how Shakespeare builds the tension through contrasting characters, one standing in the light, one lurking in the shadows, smash that like button and subscribe for the confrontation. And then, just as Othello steels himself for Brabantio's mob, a different group arrives. Not a father's vengeful pose, but the Duke's own men. The private crisis is about to collide with the public emergency. Enter Cassio and certain officers with torches. Othello recognizes them instantly. The servants of the Duke and my lieutenant. The goodness of the night upon you, friends. What is the news? Notice Othello's tone, calm, cautious, and in command. The goddess of the night upon you. Okay? Even in this tense moment, he is gracious general. Cassio, his loyal lieutenant, delivers the urgent summons here. Cassio's message is also very direct. See it? The Duke does greet you, General, and he requires your haste post haste appearance even on the instant. Now see the repetition. Haste post haste. It means immediately, quick, right now. The Duke isn't asking, he is requiring. Othello, ever the commander, seeks the context. What's the matter, think you? What do you think the problem is? Right? See the inversion, right? And Cassio reveals a state emergency right here. Something from Cyprus as I may divine, it is a business of some heat, some urgency. Business of some heat, right? It means it's urgent, fiery business. Cassio describes a flurry of messengers, a dozen sequent messengers, and senators gathering at the Duke's. Venice is mobilizing for war. And then he adds the crucial detail. When being not at your lodging to be found, when I couldn't find you at your lodge, the Senate had sent about 3 several guests to search you out. The state has been looking for him, as he tells, and Othello replies with a line rich with dramatic irony. "'Tis well I am found by you. It's good that I was found by you. Think about it. A moment ago, he declared I must be found. Now he has been found not by Brabantio's mob, but by the Duke's men. His value to Venice is confirmed as his personal life is under attack." Othello doesn't hesitate. Okay, "I will but spend a word here in the house and go with you." Spend a word. right? Spend a word means he just needs a moment. With whom? Of course, Desdemona. This is his last private moment before being thrust into the public political storm. He's balancing his duty to the state with his love for his new wife, right? And here Shakespeare uses this interruption to three things. First is to rise the stakes. Othello isn't just dealing with the father's anger, he's also needed to save Venice. And next, this also highlights Othello's values. The state urgent need for him contrasts with Brabantio's racist contempt. And at last, this interruption creates dramatic irony because Brabantio is coming to arrest Othello as a criminal while the Duke is summoning him as a savior. Not only that, this interruption delays the confrontation. The tense stretches further. We are waiting for the two crises to collide. Othello steps inside to speak with Desdemona, but in the street the tension remains. Cassio and Iago are left together, and Brabantio's tortures are getting closer. The two storms are about to meet. Can you see how Shakespeare weaves personal drama into political crisis? If so, like and subscribe for the moment everything explodes. Othello steps inside to speak with Desdemona. In the street, Iago is left with Cassio and he can't resist poisoning the well. Then the moment we have been waiting for, Brabantio's mob arrives. Swords are drawn and Othello returns with one of the most famous lines in the play. Cassio, innocent and loyal, asks Iago a simple question. Ancient, what makes he here? What is Othello doing here? Iago reply, and his reply is crude and cunning. Faith, he tonight hath boarded a land carack. If it prove lawful price, he is made for ever. Now here a carack is a treasure ship, okay, a wealth ship. Iago is saying Othello has boarded, taken possession of a rich prize. That is Desdemona metaphorically. It's a vulgar metaphor reducing love to piracy. When Cassio doesn't understand, Iago smirks. He's married, right? But before he can say to whom, Othello returns. Iago cuts himself off, married to... Come, Captain, will you go? Iago gossips is interrupted here, but the seed is already planted. Cassio now knows Othello is married. Mystery surrounds it, right? He don't know to whom. And then Cassio warns, here comes another troop to seek for you. Iago, ever the false friend, whispers, it's Brabantio, General, be advised, he comes to bad intent. Then chaos, Brabantio enters, sees Othello and screams, down with him, thief. Okay, swords flash out on both sides. Rodrigo, eager to fight, is matched by Iago, who ironically shouts, You, Rodrigo, come, sir. You, Rodrigo, come, sir. I am for you. Iago is pretending to defend Othello, acting the loyal soldier here, but remember, he set this whole fight up. And then Othello's voice cuts through the violence. Keep up your bright swords, for the dew will rust them. Okay, let's unpack this iconic line. Keep up, sheath them, put them away. Your bright swords. He acknowledges their threat, but calls them bright, almost beautiful. Okay, for the dew will rust them. A poetic, almost dismissive reason. Don't bother, the night air will ruin your blades anyway. This isn't just a command again. It's a philosophical stance. Othello refuses to meet hatred with violence. He uses reason, poetry, and authority to disarm the situation. He then addresses Brabantio directly with stunning respect. Good signor, you shall more command with ears than with your weapons. He honors Brabantio's age and social position. You have more power through your seniority and wisdom than through force. In the face of racist rage, Othello responds with dignity and deference. This is a masterclass in moral and social confidence. And in this moment, Othello wins. He controls the street without drawing his own sword. He demonstrates superior eloquence. The version, of course, this is contrasted with the Brabantio's mob mentality. And then the superior eloquence, the morality, right? Eloquence, which contrasts with Iago's crude metaphors, the morality, which contrasts with the choosing words over the weapons. But this is also the peak of his control. From here, Iago will work to strip away this composure, this confidence, this command. This is Othello as he should be, but as he will never be again. What do you think? What will happen to him? Let's continue. But Brabantio is not appeased. He will now unleash a torrent of accusations of witchcraft, theft, and corruption. How will Othello, the state's most needed general, will answer to the father of the woman he loves? The verbal duel begins next. If you are captivated by how Shakespeare uses a single line to define a hero's soul, like and subscribe for the war of words that follows. Next, important paragraph number 2, Act 1, Scene 2. Othello has stopped the swords, but now comes a sharper weapon, words. Brabantio, unable to defeat Othello with force, unleashes a torrent of racist logic, legal threats, and paternal outrage. This isn't just anger, it's the voice of Venetian prejudice given full poetic expression. Brabantio doesn't just accuse, he dehumanizes. Oh, thou foul thief, where hast thou stowed my daughter? Okay, now if I reminds to you about the situation, now Brabantio informs um, to the state about Othello's work and says that's what going to happen, right? And when talking about Brabantio's tone, it's a bit sad and insulting as well. And now they are in front of the Sagittary, right? The same bride, this the same night of their elopement. There means Othello's and Desdemona's, right? And now already Brabantio has fetched Othello, and now he is accusing to Othello for stealing his daughter forcefully. Okay, now let's see, right? Now here he says, oh, now say the usage of the technique. Oh, right, it's a technique. It highlights about the emotions, right? The tone of Brabantio. And thou foul thief, you are a thief. Othello is a criminal, a pirate, stowed like cargo hidden away. He frames Desdemona as stolen property. Then the core of his argument, damned as thou art, thou hast enchanted her. Right? Damned means devil. He cannot conceive that his daughter would choose Othello willingly. Therefore, it must be witchcraft, right? This is the racist rationalization in its purest form. Your love is impossible, so it must be magic. Okay, now he is very sure of that. And then Brabantio lays out his case to the world. Whether a maid so tender, fair and happy, so opposite to marriage that she shunned the wealthy curled darlings of our nation, would never have run from her garage to the sooty bosom of such a thing as thou. Let's stop from there and analyze it. Oh my God. Okay, now here, what do you think? The character of Brabantio is of course defined. He seems to be a bit foolish, angry, and okay, we can see the deep trust, the paternal love, endless love towards daughter also can be seen. Right? And here he completely dehumanizes Othello. Mm? The tender, fair, and happy, his idealized pure daughter. This is the image, right? Metaphorically referring to Desdemona. Wealthy curled darlings. Who are these curled darlings of their nation? Of course, this refers to Brabantio's drugs or foul charms, right? Okay. Now when talking about that, it's about the parental love, how love can overcome all barriers, the ethnic chauvinism you can see here, right? The wealthy curled darlings, right? And the eligible white aristocratic Venetians she refused, right? So see the contrast, these all contrast with Othello. Sooty bosom of such a thing as thou, archaic language, the racist contrast sooty, black versus fair, a thing versus a person. His logic is circular. She wouldn't choose you because you are black, therefore you must have forced her. That is his argument. It's a prejudice disguised as a reason. Okay. Now, Brabantio believed that the world is a place of white, but cheating a white has been discriminative to whole world. That is why I said it's a prejudice, right? Then, Brabantio shifts from a father to a prosecutor. Brabantio then says that thou hast practiced on her with foul charms. You have used foul charms. Okay. abused her delicate youth with drugs or minerals that waken motion. I therefore apprehend and do attach thee for an abuser of the world, a practicer of art inhabits and out of warrant. Arts inhibit, right? This means black magic, the forbidden arts. He's charging Othello with a crime, sorcery, punishable by law. This isn't a street fight anymore, it's a legal arrest. Oh my god. And then Brabantio ends with a threat of violence. Lay hold upon him. If he do resist, subdue him at his peril. Well, even after Othello sheathed the swords, Brabantio orders his men to grab him. The peril is now Othello's if he resists. The father's rage is now a state-sanctioned force. This is perfect, right? This speech is crucial because it establishes the three battles Othello must fight. First is racism, because he has been seen as a thing, a sooty bosom, not a man. Second battle, paternalism, being seen as a thief who stole property. Now here the property is Desdemona. Third battle, the law, being accused of a real capital crime, a witchcraft. Brabantio isn't just a grieving father. He is the embodiment of the old order that Othello's existence challenges. And now, Othello must answer not just to him, but to the Duke and the full Senate. Othello has remained silent through this entire tirade. What will he say? How will the general, the husband, the accused defend himself? His response is not what Brabantio expects, because Othello knows something Brabantio doesn't. If you've seen how Shakespeare uses a character's rage to expose the deep prejudices of a society, like and subscribe for Othello's stunning reply. Brabantio has ordered Othello's arrest for witchcraft. The mob is ready to seize him, but Othello doesn't protest, doesn't fight back. Instead, he asks a simple, devastating question that changes everything. First, Othello maintains control. See, hold your hands. See the alliteration, right? Her anger, you can interpret it that way as well, but still, both you of my inclining and the rest, were it my cue to fight, I should have known it without prompter. Okay. He tells both sides, his men and Brabantio's, to stand down. If I needed to fight, I'd know without being told. This reaffirms his authority as a general here. And then his master stroke. Where will you that I go? To answer this your charge. He doesn't deny the charge. He accepts the process. He's inviting Brabantio to make this official, which is exactly what Brabantio wants. Then he says, to prison, till fit time of law and cause of direct session, call thee to answer. Prison, then a trial. But Othello isn't finished. Othello now plays his ace. What if I do obey? How may the Duke be therewith satisfied, whose messengers are here about my side upon some present business of the state to bring me to him? This isn't defiance, it's a diplomatic checkmate. Okay. So he's saying, I'll go with you, but how will you explain arresting Duke's most urgently needed general? Right? And then the officer confirms, "'Tis true, most worthy signor. Most respected sir, it's true. The Duke's in council, and your noble self, I am sure, is sent for." Now the political reality clashes into Brabantio's personal vendetta. Then what happens? Brabantio got stunned. How? See the usage of punctuation. The Duke in council? See the surprise, right? In this time of night, a midnight council means a crisis. Brabantio realizes his daughter's elopement is now a minor concern next to affairs of state. But his pride forces him to escalate. Bring him away. Mine's not idle cause. For if such actions may have passage free, bond slaves and pagans shall our statements be. His final line reveals his deepest fear, the social inversion. If Othello is allowed to marry Desdemona, then slaves and non-Christians, it means the pagans, will rule Venice. This is the panic of a privileged class feeling threatened. Okay, now bond sales and passions, it's about themes like racism, chauvinism, ethnic chauvinism, discrimination, class consciousness, and this is very discriminative of other ethnic groups. Okay, and then what happens is this part is Shakespeare, one of the best, right? Here Shakespeare brilliantly merges the two plots. The first is the personal plot, the elopement, racism, and family honor. The second plot is the political plot, the war in Cyprus and the state security. And Othello stands at the intersection. By forcing the issue before the Duke, he transforms a street ball into a state hearing. Brabantio wanted a private arrest. He is getting a public trial, and we, the audience, are about to witness the most powerful scene in Act 1, the Senate scene, where love, race, law, and war collide. It's really, really interesting to discuss it with you. And next, we enter the heart of Venetian power. The Duke and the senators are gathered in the dead of night. Othello, the accused warlock. Brabantio, the outraged father. Desdemona, unseen but central. And Iago, lurking in the shadows. The entire tragedy will turn on what is said in that chamber. Act 1, Scene 2 gave us Othello in full. The general, husband, outsider, statesman. We saw his calm, his pride, his love, and his strategic mind. We saw Iago's deceit, Brabantio's bigotry, and Cassio's loyalty. And now the stage is set for the highest court in Venice. What do you think will happen next? Any idea? Leave a comment. I would like to know what you guys think of this. Now let's summarize what happened in Act 1, Scene 2. In another street in Venice, late at night, torchlight, tension, and two approaching mobs. This is the visual image that you need to have. It's right there on the screen. When talking about the main events that happened, Othello's introduction, we met Othello not as Iago's Barbary host but as a composed, authoritative general. His first line, "'Tis better as it is," sets the tone. He is a man of measured judgment, not impulsive rage. Iago's dual manipulation. Iago tests Othello with two masks. First is the loyal soldier boasting of almost killing Rodrigo for Othello's honor, and then the concerned friend of warning of Brabantio's political power and asking, "Are you fast married?" This act also includes Othello's declaration of self. In response, Othello delivers a defining speech. His pride in service, "My service shall outtongue his complaints. The royal blood, I fetch my life and being from men of royal siege. His love as his anchor, only for Desdemona would he trade his unhoused free condition." The Duke's urgent summons, also another thing that is highlighted in this act. Cassio arrives with the news. Cyprus is under threat and the Duke demands Othello's immediate presence. Othello's value to Venice is confirmed just as his personal life coming under attack. And in this scene, we can see Brabantio's mob arrives. Swords are drawn. Brabantio accuses Othello of theft and witchcraft. "Thou hast enchanted her." Othello disarms the situation with legendary composure. "Keep up your bright swords, for the dew will rust them." In this scene, the legal gambit is there. When ordered to prison, Othello does not resist. Instead, he asks, "What if I do obey? How may the Duke be satisfied?" He forces Brabantio's private grievance into the public sphere of the Duke's midnight council. And what are the key themes established in Act 1, Scene 2? First one is public versus private. Othello's duty to the state clashes with his personal life. Second, appearance versus reality. Iago's false loyalty contrasts with Othello's genuine integrity. Third, racism and power. Brabantio's accusations reveal the prejudice Othello must navigate. At last, one of the key main themes are love and vulnerability. Othello's love for Desdemona is his strength and his tragic flaw. What's next? Act 1, Scene 3. The Senate trial. Othello, Brabantio, and Desdemona will plead their cases before the Duke. The personal and political collide in Shakespeare's most tense courtroom drama will happen. So, in the LitLoom, where literature is woven into meaning, we have discussed William Shakespeare's Othello. So, if you have enjoyed analyzing with me, please subscribe and hit the like button because the story has not yet started. There's more to begin. Thank you for being with me.